Well, things got a bit interesting out here this morning. Don and I have now seen a new, obviously large male gray cat 3 times. This morning I got the best look at him I've had, and his ear is not snipped. So he is a definite Tom. And Tux tried to take him on. He tried to come for food, and Tux wanted to go after him. I ended up throwing one of the lightweight aluminum bowls between them, and then picking up the water bowl, the big one over here by the bricks, and throwing that in their direction, because I can't have Tux getting hurt. He's already healing one spot on his ear. I wasn't trying to hurt anybody, just trying to get him to stop, and thankfully that cat ran off. I put some food at the top of the hill and made some noise at the bowl, so if he comes, Stripe, no, Stripe, no. You're not going up there for that. Nope, 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 nope. Guess I won't be making that. Stripe, no. No, no, no. We're not going up the hill right now. I don't know if he's coming back or not, but you're a pretty boy. You don't fight. You can't be. You come eat your food down here and go play by the carport or something. I appreciate you trying to keep your territory safe, but you know I got to protect you at all costs. Stripes by my left leg. Tux is mad. Good morning, guys. Is it a...
I can't pick up my paper. It's so heavy.
Is it a big paper? All them ads. At least one thing hasn't changed. Black Friday, pre-Black Friday paper's big. So the first thing on mine and Don's agenda is to let Don enjoy his newspaper and coffee. I'm gonna brown up the hamburger sausage mixture because I need it and so many other things today. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to make the stuffing and get the bird ready to go in the oven. Then Don and I are going to go for our walk/run. That'll be pretty nice. It's pretty nice out there right now.
Yeah, it's going to be mid-50s, they said.
And while I come back and put the bird in the oven, because it'll take about 2.5 hours, a 16-pound bird in my bag.
Yeah.
Plus a little bit of cool down, take it out, get it ready, get the other things ready. You know, while it's in the oven, pretty much the whole time I'm going to be making other casseroles and those kinds of things. And Don's he wants to blow the yard and he wants to wash Ruby.
Right, I have to, yes, it's getting close to the last time to blow the yard. Maybe one more time after this, but it'll be a light one. But this,
Dreamer.
Well,
it is getting closer. Each time it gets closer, that's for sure.
Yeah, but anyway, so, yeah.
Yeah, so that's our plans, and we'll eat whenever it's ready, and that way Don and I can get dressed in, you know, our workout clothes, and Don can move on to doing his other tasks and use the most part of the daylight hour to do the couple things we want to do versus, so Johnny's sleeping, and I'm just letting him sleep today. Yeah, I'm just letting the boy sleep. If he's not up by noon, which would be unusual for him, I'll get him up.
Well, I didn't go to bed till 4.
Yeah, I woke up with my computer in my lap just before 4 a.m. and surprisingly Don was still beside me, and Don usually gets up and goes to bed between 12 and 1. And
yeah, I didn't get much of a nap after work yesterday.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to stay awake long enough to finish it and come join you. I fell back asleep out here and...
Oh, I thought you didn't finish it.
No, well, it's finished now,
okay.
but that's because when I woke up at 8 something, I finished it.
I understand.
Yeah, so it's rendering.
Way cool.
Yeah.
Good girl. Y'all don't know how hard she works on that video. It's a lot of work.
If I could stay awake, I could crank it out pretty quick. You know, I've but the problem is staying awake long enough to finish it, and how many times I wake up and try to finish it and all that good stuff. Yeah. Anyway.
I love you.
Thank you, Donnie. I love you too. We'll be enjoying our day here today. No pressure, just kind of, I will be on my feet a lot in the kitchen, but,
Poor thing.
yeah.
Well, I'll give you a foot rub later.
Thank you. Yeah, and that's what puts me to sleep every night for sure. I'm like trying to work out, but they hurt, you know, that neuropathy, the numbness in my toes. If it wasn't for Dawn rubbing on them every night, I swear I don't know if I could keep going. It really is makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Makes sure the circulation is good, and I've let him know how much I appreciate it. It's not anything, any machine, you know, or a foot massage or a water bath or any of that other stuff. It's really, I need Dawn's TLC.
TLC,
Yeah.
Magic fingers.
That's right. So the cheesecake and the pumpkin pie are my normal recipe with real brown sugar and real organic cane sugar, whatever. But I made this cheesecake pumpkin spice bar, and I use these two supposedly natural, although I feel highly processed, alternates. And the monk fruit, I hope I'm going to say this right, erythritol blend. This is a sugar alcohol. It's 0 carb, 0 calorie, or 0 net carbs anyway. I don't play the net carb game. It's low. It's not, in comparison to what it would be to have this equivalent sugar, it's low. And both of these, they're granulated and you just use them like sugar. The Swerve brown sugar replacement, you'd be surprised. It looks like it, it packs like it pretty much tastes like it, and it's also 0 calories, and it's quite sweet with just a little aftertaste. So I'm trying something new here. I certainly wouldn't want to be using these products all the time. You know, I feel it's a processed food, and that's not the right thing to do, but you know, trying it today. On a holiday, in place of having a highly carb-centric food, might be the way to go a few times a year. So we'll see what Don thinks about it. I'm going to take him this to go along with his coffee.
All right, so I checked my blood sugar this morning. It was like 113.
113.
Yeah, 113.
Mine was 111. Mine and Don's is usually
pretty close.
Pretty close. Yeah.
Let's do her finger here.
Yeah. Don't freak out about that number in pre-diabetes, because
that was her morning.
Well, yeah, that was my.
So right now you're at 121.
21. Well, I already had the coffee with the cream, and that
you already had
I've
stuff.
had a little something.
Well,
Dawn
right.
hasn't, though.
Well, what we want to see is how high this dessert
Right.
drives it up. That's what.
Right. I would say Dawn and my blood sugar rarely goes above 125, even after we eat our normal low-carb dinners. What I was going to say is that people on keto are known to have a little bit of an elevated blood sugar in the morning, and they explained why. And then when you go get your A1C, it's still in the low 5s. So
yeah, we're going to see.
We're counting on that.
All right. So,
Don's A1C the last time was 5.1, and mine was 5.4.
Yeah.
I'm sure mine had come down.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're going to come back in an hour. It's 10 o'clock, so we're going to come back at 11. And we want to see how our body reacts to these quote-unquote natural sweeteners.
107.
Unscented. Okay. And Don's only had black coffee.
All I had is black coffee.
Yeah, well, some of us hate black coffee. We're constantly struggling to deal with coffee.
Yep.
My health would be improved if I
All
enjoyed
right.
black coffee, which I don't.
Okie dokie.
We'll be back in an hour with the blood sugar part anyway. I love pumpkin. It's my favorite pie. Well, maybe apple beats pumpkin, but Don is sort of iffy on pumpkin and any year.
Yeah, I'm a pecan pie kind of a guy.
Every year I get the lecture about I don't care if I ever have pumpkin pie again.
Right.
Poor girl. She slaves in the kitchen, and then she...
Although I like the pumpkin muffins, not brownies, the things, the pumpkin,
He likes zucchini nut bread and doesn't
Yeah,
really
that
like
kind of
pumpkin.
stuff,
But his chocolate zucchini brownies or something, they're great. But
Yeah. But anyway, I have to tell you, I'm impressed. I've heard people say, watching some of these things, because leading up to Thanksgiving, our YouTube people that we watch for our keto stuff, they've been talking about, you can't, this is a good thing for Thanksgiving, and you're not going to be able to tell this. And I would agree, if you handed this to a didn't tell people this had all that other stuff in it, and just handed it to a normal sun person, standard American diet person, which means they basically eat carbs all they want. They would think anything. Oh, it's pretty good. If they're a pumpkin pie person, they probably think it's a lot better. I think it's really good. It's well worth the calories and the carbs.
Yeah, I'm fixing to look it up. There's carbs in the nuts, carbs in the cream cheese, and carbs in the actual pumpkin. But there shouldn't be carbs from anything else. I'm going to go look at the recipe and see how many carbs she said to expect.
Right, but the other thing is it's the glycemic, how fast it raises. Right. And the nuts don't do it.
And the pumpkin probably doesn't
do it either. So it's the sugar that really drives your blood sugar spike.
Right, so we're trying to avoid fructose as the #1 evil version of sugar, but yeah, the other versions are not so good either.
So we'll see. I've got my timer set for 1 hour, and we'll check it at 1 hour.
Yeah, I did the math, and the way I'm cutting it, we're going to get 8 servings, the size of mine and Dawn's servings. I basically quartered it, and then I halved the quarters, so 8 servings. Dawn and I did the math, and that's about 9 carbs per bar, which is not super low when we're trying to stay under 20 a day.
Oh, well,
on a regular day, it's not super low. But it's not. If you go to Starbucks and you get a frap, it's over 50 carbs. So in comparison to normal foods, it's really low. In the keto world, it's not super low, but it's still, not the fructose.
For a treat, it's fine.
Yeah, for a treat, it's fine.
Was it four carbs per teaspoon? So it has the equivalent of 2 teaspoons of sugar in us. And that slice you saw us have, with 1/8 of a pie, had 2 teaspoons. Most people put that much sugar, put more than that in their coffee.
Yep. 2 pounds of unseasoned ground pork and 1 pound of unseasoned hamburger. This is going to go on a lot of things. I'm simply going to brown it. I'm going to use the Instant Pot to saute up a lot of onion. And the first thing I'm making is the stuffing. I really wish you would just come inside and pile up in a chair and keep me company. But if I open the door, he runs away. He doesn't want to come in. So, but he's keeping me company over here. Hi. Yeah, say hello. I told Dawn it was time to bring in the turkey.
That's right.
All 16 pounds of it.
That's right.
I just finished scrubbing. You used to set it up in the sink. I just finished scrubbing it. It's as clean as it was when it was brand new. And Dawn has a few jobs during the day, and one of them is get the turkey. Yeah, just want to sit it in there. I don't really let it touch the sink anyway, but if it does, it'll be just fine.
Oh, don't worry about it. Thank you. Just took Marianne's. It was 105.
So it's come down.
And the time before it was 121, so it's actually gone down in 60
the
minutes.
Morning high is over, and sometimes when you put a little carbs in, it actually causes the body to lower the insulin level.
Yeah, trigger a little insulin and drives insulin level down.
Yeah,
that's right.
Well, that's certainly a perfectly good sugar.
Yep.
All right.
Mine's 115.
Right.
Now. And
this morning, first thing it was
117.
Okay.
So mine pretty much stayed the same.
Yeah, and the main point here is if we'd have had a real pumpkin cheesecake bar, it probably would have spiked to 130,
140,
something not good.
Right.
And instead, it actually within an hour went down.
Yeah. Well, the point is that the insulin rise didn't get very high, and it hasn't fallen particularly low. So the whole thing is, ideally, if you could just keep your blood sugar constant all the time, that would be the best, especially if it was below 100 and constant, because that's what a healthy teenager, young adult, their pancreas pumps out enough insulin and their muscles burn it really well. It aren't resistant to the insulin, and their blood sugar just stays, between 80 and 90 all the time. But those of us who have metabolic syndrome, insulin resistance, our muscles, they don't like soaking up all that sugar, and the insulin stays high trying to drive it into the muscles. And that's what gets you into all this. That's what diabetes is all about. Is your blood sugar is too high no matter how much insulin you're putting out.
Yeah. Well, where Don at one point was diagnosed as pre-diabetic, but that was 15 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
He was heavy. He wasn't exercising.
Yeah, I think my A1C went up to 6. That was the magic number.
Yeah.
I think what happened was back in 2004, 5, 6 in that area. They changed the definition. Like if your blood sugar was under 120, you used to be okay. And then once over 120, they called you diabetic. And then they changed to pre-diabetes, I think, is like 110, your blood sugar. And that equates to like an A1C of like 5.8 or something like that. So 5.8 to 6 is pre-diabetic or something. But don't quote me on it's all this information's on the internet.
You want it in the low 5s or upper 4s.
Right, but truthfully, by the time it gets up to that high, you're pre-diabetic. You're already... It isn't like an on-off switch where you're actually doing damage. It's just by the time you're up to pre-diabetic, you're really starting to do the damage versus slowly doing the damage. So, and then of course, diabetic, if you continue, you're damaging your organs and such. All the problems caused by diabetes happen at basically over 120.
Right. Well, I was probably pre-diabetic too before we changed up our eating here, but they weren't testing me. And every time, well, I have to say though, you know, they did a fasting glucose, which probably wasn't fasting, at the oncologist every year since I had twice a year or 3 times a year, and it was always in the 90s.
Yeah.
So maybe I wasn't really pre-diabetic, but we think for keeping me cancer-free, controlling my blood sugar is super important.
Right.
So that's why, you know, we really monitor. And then the less damage you do, the less damage you have to live with and work to not do anymore. So
well,
anyway.
There's a Dr. Eckberg video that explains why your blood fasting glucose level is basically worthless. Yeah,
right. Well, it is a
indicator, but just because
if it's bad, it's screaming at you. You've got problems. That's it. If by the time you know your fasting glucose level is bad, you've already got underlying serious problems.
Yeah, that's almost.
And I would just say to all the young people, it's best not to cause a problem that you have to fix later.
Yeah.
Moderate better now, and then maybe your whole life you can enjoy a little more moderation, whereas Don and I are having to be more strict all the time. That's hard, let me just tell you. It'd be easier if I'd have known if I could have just done things a little differently, then now I wouldn't have to worry so much. I would make that trade, but I just didn't know. Didn't know.
I agree.
Just saying, I think this is slightly better than using water. I don't have enough of my own stock right now to use, and I don't think that this is nutritious broth. There's no gel to it, and broth that has collagen and all the good stuff that was made with lots of bones in the broth. It's going to be gelatinous. It's going to be like jelly. If it's not like jelly, it's just, it's slightly better than water. The most important thing I do all year is not to forget to put this metal rack underneath the bird, because otherwise Don can't lift it up while I slit the bag, while we drain the juice, while we don't burn ourselves. It's a disaster if I don't remember the rack, and I have forgotten it before. I put it outside the plastic, and then I'll get my carrots and celery and stuff in my bag rearranged. The carrots and celery to keep the bird from sticking. The flour is per the manufacturer. You know, they want to not burst the bag. Did I say yet this year at the holiday season that if you don't have an Instant Pot in your house, you really need to add one? I'm serious about it for multiple reasons. So anytime you want to cook pie pumpkin, spaghetti squash, potatoes for mashing, well, this is going to be a sweet casserole. Anyway, 15 minutes cook time, plus it's 10 up and 10 down. That's 35 minutes, but I don't have to do anything. I don't have to wash it, worry about it. They'll be perfect, I guarantee you. And the water is below the trivet. And any of these things you steam, you just don't let them sit in the water. You put on the lid. I'm going to press pressure cook. And it came up with 15 minutes. One of my potatoes is a little large. I'm going to do 18 minutes. And by the time we come back from our walk, I put this one, the different ones have a different way to put it into the I'm ready to pressure up position. And when we come back from our walk, they'll just be done. And I trust this thing perfectly fine to leave it.
Yep, I agree.
And then we're going to try rice in it for the first time. It has a rice setting. You do 1-to-1 ratio of rice to water. I'm going to add in a couple tablespoons of butter. I like to use 1.5 cups of uncooked rice. And however much rice that is the right amount for my broccoli rice and cheese casserole. Or when I make Johnny fried rice, that's how much I do. And I always mess up the rice. It sticks and we have to clean the sauce pot. And if this thing will do up the rice, yeah, this is good. This is really good. Yeah, besides some of the real medical people we listen to, Don and I watched Dennis Pollock out of Texas. And he is a minister. Yeah. And African missionary. And he had diabetes. And he kind of does it from the real person's, kind of like me and Don. I had some Califia, almond milk, pumpkin spice treat. So mine was 119 just now, because I had that like 15 minutes ago. What was yours?
I think it was 103.
Yeah, so the thing here is what spikes one person's blood sugar, which neither of these is a spike, might not spike somebody else's. But for us, those
104 just now.
Those sweeteners that we had
115 an hour ago.
Yeah, those sweeteners that we had don't...
before. I'm sorry. I was just trying to review.
Right. Those sweeteners that we had didn't spike either of our blood sugars. And the only reason why mine is a little higher now is because I had that Califia a little bit ago. I forgot we were going to do the 2 hours. And, well, I never drink that stuff anymore. It's Thanksgiving and I wanted some.
Oh, I agree.
And we're going for a walk now. It's noon. And I figured right before the walk was a good time to do it if I was going to do it.
Yeah, baby.
Alexa, coffee over.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That means it's exercise time.
Alexa, turn off dead lamp. Paper over. Okay. You're relegated to the passenger seat until I tell you otherwise. Until further notice, I'm taking over your Tesla.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
You guys know I'm joking with him.
Notice
I'm serious about him not driving, but I'm joking with him about, it's been 48 hours. I can send. I understand. All right. So it has, you are enrolled in the full self-driving beta queue again. And I'll try to get some good scores here. I like that metallic red color. It's very pretty paint. I got 3,680 steps already today. So by the time we're back from our walk, which usually adds between 6,000 and 7,000, I ought to be golden. I will be able to pile up after we have our meal. I don't have a set time. We rarely eat before 2 because I'm not willing to get up extra early. And we don't usually wait to eat as late as normal. So we eat around 4-ish today, 4:30, something like that. That'll be just fine. I told Don normal walk. He offered wherever I wanted to go, but I'm going to put the turkey in when I get back. And we got other options this weekend, although today is the warmest day. Hey, there's a lot more sun coming through on the trail this time of day. It's nice out here. Yeah, it feels good.
If the wind wasn't blowing, it'd be perfect.
I'm pretty warmed up from, we'll call it scurrying around the kitchen for a couple hours before we got out here. I wasn't sitting there, so I am pretty warmed right now. You can see that the kudzu and a lot of the other vegetation has really died back. Those last 2 nights where we had the temps in the 20s kind of took the rest of everything out. If I were to show you a little bit more in the backyard right now, you'd see the impatiens have died, the coleus has died. It's sad, but it's the way of things this time of the year, so that we can enjoy the beauty of them coming out in the spring again. This is making me smile. Teenagers that have a free day to be out running around in the sun with their friends playing a game of soccer that they wouldn't have time to do on a school day. That really makes me smile. It's quiet.
Yeah, pretty quiet. No traffic.
No people on the track but us. But you wait till this afternoon after they eat. Everyone will be out here on this pretty day. Going for their after dinner pre-dessert walk.
We will. My wife's the optimistic type. Dreamer.
I am definitely a cup half full person, and I have to put up with this one all the time.
I tell you, sweetie, it might be some women out here walking, but the guys are all sitting there with another piece of pie.
They're gonna watch the football game. Yeah, well, maybe they're playing touch football in their backyard for a few minutes because they have a DVR and they can catch up on the game after dark. I can hope.
Yeah,
Thank God for DVRs, because if Don stopped doing every time there was a football game on he wanted to see, I would be walking around a lot less happy. And I tell you what, that YouTube service where you get to have just the, what do they call it? The
key plays.
Key plays, and he can watch a whole
No commercials with the key plays, like 30 or 40 plays of the game. It's like, wow, that's great. Like, you don't have to fast forward, you can just say, show me the key plays, and bang, 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 bang.
It's the best thing since sliced bread and butter.
Well, what it's good for, the games like Alabama that I really want to watch, I watch those. But all the other games like Auburn, I want to see how bad they lost or how they lost. I get to see the key plays.
Yeah, so if the score is the other team 50 and Auburn 20, you want to watch them get pummeled.
That's right.
Yeah, in sweet succession.
Remember, I only pull for 2 teams, Alabama and whoever's playing Auburn.
Right. Yeah, the key plays feature is another marriage saver after the DVR. Yeah. It's really good. I used to really be into football. I used to really be into NASCAR. I can deal without either now. You know, all this focus on billionaires and Bezos and Elon and whoever else they want to throw in there. Let's throw in some millionaires too. The thing that gets me is the sports figures. Where we, as a society, value people that run the football on the field. The amount of money, the cars, the houses, the women. You know, that gets me way more than anything Elon does will ever set me off. So, but our society values the sports figures, and I value them too, but not at the same payment level that they're currently making. And then also they perpetuate the processed food, fast food, beer industry. They say they go along with some other things I don't think are so good. So yeah, I'll just be quiet now before I get myself in too much trouble. Okay, Don says he wants to do a hit. There's a hilly spot here and there's a hilly spot on the other side. All right, go Donnie, go. Try to do 5, okay. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Go, Donnie, go! That's Trace! Quattro! Cinco! We're gonna go for siete, or are we done? Yay, Donnie!
My head.
Yeah, Don had a little headache before. Woo! Uh-oh. All right, this is more my hill.
Go, girl. You go. Hopefully I can't see in the sun. Come on, girl. You're doing great. That's 1. Woohoo! There we go, that's 2. You're doing great. Here you go. Woohoo!
Getting harder.
Yeah, that last one was a killer for me.
My muscles burning.
All right, last 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 1 Woo! I bet your heart rate's doing good now.
Heart's at 155.
Oh, you're gonna go for one to grow on, huh? Woohoo! I am, oh my goodness. She's putting me to shame. I might have could have done another one if my head wasn't about to pop off my head, shoulders.
One more.
One more.
That'll be 8.
Ah, push, 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 push. Woohoo! Got her. There she is. That's my girl.
175. Woo!
Wow.
I could have done 2 more, but I gotta go home.
Yeah, really, we gotta go.
I could have done 2 more.
Right. My girl, she's tough.
I don't know how it's possible. It's been 3 minutes, Donnie? 4 minutes? Yeah, 2 minutes. My heart rate's already down to 122. I guess I'll be doing that hill work at least when I'm feeling warm enough and the grass is dry there a little more often. Although I set the bar quite high at 8 on the first time. Now, to be clear, my hill was not as steep as Don's, but I'm a little not as well balanced as he is, and I felt that was enough of an incline for my knees to safely get back down the hill. You know, I'm not going to do anything that's going to injure me, because Don's life will be HE double hockey sticks if I cannot be mobile. So for Don's sake, we need for me to not get injured in any way. I have a little toe pain on my left big toe. It's probably a bone spur or something. It was bad before we started this exercise program, and it hasn't improved much. But you know, I just live, grin and bear it. I can bypass that. But oh, there goes egret. Excuse me, a great blue heron. I don't know why I said egret. It's not a white bird. I started to say hawk, and then I realized how big it was. Yeah. Well, there's water.
Yeah, there's a pond.
There's a pond in there. It's pretty deep. There's beaver, so he could certainly have been in there fishing. Poor Don's head. He'll definitely be taking Excedrin at the house.
I can now function again.
Yeah, he was putting his cool hand, the palm of his hand, on the one eye to try to get it to stop pounding there for a minute. To be clear, he had the headache before we left the house. But we like to not take medicine, and so he wanted to see. Sometimes movement, it'll get better, and sometimes it'll get worse, and unfortunately he drew the worst card today. All right, let's get the oven preheating. 350. It says 16 to 20 pounds is 245 to 3 hours, so I'm probably going to cook at 245. I don't put a thermometer in it, and this fresh bird from the farm obviously doesn't have one. This should have let all the steam out naturally because it sat for an hour when they were done. Well, my first guess looking at them is they're not cooked all the way, but let's put a fork in them and see. And the only reason why that would be bad is I got other stuff to cook in here now. No, oh wow, they are perfect. You see how easy that went in? Wow, perfect, yay. So the turkey went in, we'll just call it 1:40 p.m. I set a 2-hour timer so we can turn it left to right. We always have to remove the one rack, but it fits in there fine otherwise. So 240, 340, 440 would be 3 hours. So we'll be eating probably by 5. I'm going to pull it out at, let's see, 3:35, excuse me, 4:25 is when I want to pull it out. Okay, sounds good. All right, let's hope this is going to work good. I'm just going to press the default rice. I'm going to vent it properly, and then I'm just going to press the default rice. 12 minutes, of course it's 10 up and 10 down, so it's, you know, approximately it's closer to 30 minutes, but that's fine. That would actually be more time than it takes probably by 5 to 10 minutes to cook it in the pot. But if it doesn't stick and it's perfect, it's worth it. And I don't have to watch it or stir it or it boil over, which always happens. And so that's all good. I'm going to be working on the other parts of the broccoli cheese rice thing now. Johnny's out here helping me love up kitties, and we just gave Marty his catnip banana. And he's quite thrilled. He's quite thrilled. Hey, Marty. Such a good boy. His Stripe's tail in the shadow there. Very cute. Marty! Stripe, I just want to see what you got. He was just curious. What does Stripe think about the banana? Oh, poor Marty. Marty lost the banana. Oh, I think Stripe likes it. Oh. Poor Marty. Well, Stripe is the big boss, and you did right walking away and relinquishing without causing a scene. I'm sure we'll get Marty some more banana time. Here, Mart. He walked away. It's fair game. Rice is good. I fluffed it, and it's good. It was even in there on the warmer for a little bit, and it's fine. It's great. It's ready to go when I got the rest of the stuff ready to go. There's the broccoli stems and onion, and I'll be adding the florets here in a minute. The stems take a little longer to cook, so they go in first. I left this laying on the bed this morning on purpose. I kind of knew it was going to attract a cat. Hi, buddy. Hi. It's midnight. Hi. That's not helpful. Trying to get the family Thanksgiving photo here. It's Johnny's thinking it, but he's being really polite and standing there quietly, youngster. Okay. Thanks for pointing out that a brown mat was not exactly the right color for black cats. I really appreciate it. But apparently what's good for one is good for two, and they're sharing. Hi. Hi. This is nighttime. He has to listen to everything his mama says. So it's time to make the cheese sauce for the broccoli rice casserole. We just did the family photo. I took a break. I'm going to add enough flour in there to absorb up the butter and make a paste. Yeah. And then I'm going to add in a little bit of milk. And then I'm going to add in a lot of cheese. And then I'm going to add more cheese and milk until it's the right consistency. It doesn't look like much to start out with, but trust me, it's going to melt down in a minute. Keep it at low. Don't let it scorch on the bottom. And I added a dash, and I do mean a scant dash of cayenne pepper. The cheese is plenty salty. I don't find I need to add salt. So here's the rice and the broccoli mixture and the sausage tossed together. Tossing is important, not stirring, not crushing. The cheese sauce is ready to go. I did end up adding a half a teaspoon of garlic salt and a quarter of a teaspoon of garlic powder. And I'm really happy with the taste now. And I'm gonna mix it up and then put it in this casserole dish, top with more cheese. And usually I would bake it 20 to 30 minutes depending on time permitting. So basically when the turkey comes out, this will go in the oven while we're futzing with the turkey. Holy Toledo!
Is this something for me?
No, it's from Lego and it's for me. He already knew it was a Lego thing. But the big deal is it was FedEx, and they delivered on Thanksgiving. I told Don to ask the guy if he wanted a piece of pie. Honest to God, he could even come in for dinner. Just tell him to deliver for the next hour and then come drive back over. But I don't care. Yeah, I didn't see him or her. I don't. You're welcome at the table.
Yeah, he had his music playing, and I told him, look, there's nothing you're delivered at this place that's important enough for you to be working on Thanksgiving. He says, no, not a problem. They're taking good care of us.
Well, first off, I bet he's got holiday pay, double time.
Oh, I'm sure.
And then I bet they catered food. If I was the manager, I'd have catered food from somebody, Honey Hams or Whole Food or some Food Lion even, who cares, and probably shorter shifts to spread the burden. Yeah. So people were not gone away from their families too long, maybe, or something. Yeah, I don't know. I can think of several ways, but you know, double time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Will you deliver packages on a Thursday for us? I don't know. I can't believe FedEx delivered package today, but
yeah.
Yeah, Don ordered me another present on the Lego version of Black Friday.
I did?
You did. You did.
I didn't know that.
You did.
I hope you enjoy your present.
Yeah, and hopefully the other couple things I've hit it out you've ordered too. All right, we're 1 hour and counting until the bird comes out of the oven, and I got 2 things left to do. I got to make the cranberry sauce with real cranberries, and I got to make the soulful sweet potatoes. They're both Ree Drummond Pioneer Woman recipes, and I should be able to do that in an hour, but I'm gonna have to stay on task because I've been having a relaxed cooking day. Yeah, where are those cranberries? You know, never regretted this refrigerator where we could make this side be for produce, make it a refrigerator instead of a freezer. You've got an option on this one. Never regretted that. Never regretted it. Don's turning the bird around.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yep, I agree. It's looking good. I don't go by... I've never been one to go by the color of the perfect, the no tears, no browned or whatever, as long as it's cooked through.
Yeah.
Hopefully it will brown up just a little bit. It usually does in the last hour, so we're good.
I agree.
When we chop nuts at our house, we really chop nuts. Real bowl, real cutter. These started out as the halves we get from Mr. Ball, then they were put in the instant pot to dehydrate them after soaking them in salt water for 6 hours, and they come out extra crispy. And then but both the cranberry sauce and the soulful sweet potatoes call for chopped pecans. I was happy to oblige while I sampled a few. That's the mashed potato part of the soul taters, and then flour, butter, and I add some cinnamon on my own, and brown sugar, and that's going to go on top, and then it's going to get cooked. But I like to mix up the brown sugar or the flour, and I'm going to go add some cinnamon, which Ree doesn't call for. But I like before I pour the butter on. Thank you, Donnie.
You're welcome.
Yeah, he has to hold this for nearly 5 minutes while I slit it, and the water runs out, or I mean the juice, the broth.
Yeah, but it's not hard with this rack.
Right, I mean, you need one of those lifter things if you're going to cook a big bird. Second important thing, although 2 of these is pretty good for a chicken, that's kind of better for the bird. Yeah.
So she's in the kitchen doing the last minute stuff. And we've got it all pretty much on the table here. Yum, yum, yum. She's starving me to death. This girl is the queen of Thanksgiving cooking. Woo.
I'm staging my picture. They all know.
Yeah.
If I don't get my picture, there's no this is
photographic effect over here.
It's as important as grace.
That's right.
Sorry, God.
Yeah. Gotta get the picture. Oh.
That was very. Does it seem moist enough?
Yeah, it seems to be doing good. Very good. It makes that slushy sound when you cut it.
Good. It looks moist. Moist enough. Lots of gravy, so we're good.
Yep.
All right, from our family to yours, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Well, that is a Don Miller Thanksgiving plate if I ever saw one.
Hey, 64 years of practice.
Makes perfect. And this is my plate. So broccoli, rice, sausage, cheese casserole, turkey and gravy, stuffing which has sausage in it too, the sole sweet taters, which is basically dessert, and the cranberry sauce, homemade. So there's pecans in a couple things and lots of onion and yum. This is going to be 3 lunches for Johnny one day this winter when I'm short on something good to send him. I think that'll work out nice. Miss Hagler, she lets the kids use her microwave.
Well, I'm impressed. Checked my blood sugar, and it's been over an hour since we stopped eating. We started eating at right at 5 o'clock, and it's 6:30 now. But we ate for like 15-20 minutes. So it's been about an hour since we stopped, and 127 for me and 121 for Kitten.
Wow, and I had 2 crescent rolls.
Right. Well, I had quite a bit of the souffle, the sweet potato souffle.
Yeah. Yeah, to be clear, there was nothing low carb about anything but the turkey itself.
The turkey was the only low carb thing that we
on
had.
the
That's right.
Yep.
Everything else was high.
There was actually a dish on the table that contained real brown sugar.
That's right.
And that's the first time since Christmas.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, dilemmas. Which one? I guess we'll just have to have both. This one's for my sweetie. That one's for me. And that one's for Johnny.